my name's Kathleen, and I was in Bikini Kill, the band that she was just talking about in the book. Thanks, you guys. And I just wanted to give some comments on what it felt like to read about myself in Sarah's book, and be interviewed by Sarah and be a part of this amazing process. I guess I was thinking today about how, like, when you really like a band or you really like someone's writing and you go up to them and you're like, oh my God, your band totally changed my life. Or, you know, I have people like that, like Karen Finley is somebody that I cry every time I see her and I freak out. I think we all have people like that. And I was thinking how people come up and they say that and it takes like 1 second, and I will go up to somebody and say, oh, I really love your work or whatever. It takes 1 second. But what Sarah did was she took 5 fucking years and went off and actually researched the shit out of this scene that all these different people got together and made, and this music that me and my friends made together. And she worked her ass off and got her hands really dirty and had to deal with a lot of crazy emails from me. And it really is one thing to say you respect someone's work, and it's another thing to show it. And I think she really showed it in this book. And when I read it, I felt this kind of like collective sigh of relief from me and from a lot of my friends who were involved back then in the 90s, which seems like yesterday, but I guess it was 20 years ago. And I think a lot of us felt like, oh, good. You know, someone wrote a really fucking great book about this stuff, and now we can write the books we want to write, and we don't have to write this book. So I can write about punk rock gardening if I want to, or do a vegan recipe calendar. Not even vegan, but who knows, next year. But I don't have to write the definitive history, and I mean, no one can ever write the definitive history. But she has written a really great book that really does include a lot of the feelings and the things that went on. And there was a part in the book, actually, where I emailed her that she said this thing. God, I wish I could remember the line. This is kind of sad. It's kind of depressing. But in the 90s, when we were first doing what we were doing, like, I never thought anybody would ever write a fucking book about it. Or that all these people would be here listening to me talk about a book that Sarah wrote about it. Which is really crazy. And there were a lot of people who didn't like what we were doing. And I remember thinking in the punk scene, like, oh, everybody's going to be so into this. This is so awesome. Like, feminism is punk rock. Everyone's going to love it. And there are all these guys that I knew who, you know, had slept on my floor, and I'd booked shows for them. And, you know, I would hear back that they just thought I was a fucking joke. And Sarah wrote this sentence that said, behind her back, they turned her passion into a punchline. And it just said it perfectly how I felt. It just said perfectly how I felt, and I'd never been able to express it. And I just wanted to thank you for that, and just thank you for your wonderful book. And I'm so happy that you've had such great response. And tell your friends to buy Sarah's book. Congratulations, Sarah.